the Truth, where I'm your host, Neshia Matthews. We had a long week. I know we're supposed to be talking about where's my partner, but let's take it back a notch because when you're overworked and then things start overflowing, we got to find balance in that. And first, once we find balance in that, then we can talk about oftentimes we be overworking ourselves. I know I'm a person that just work. Everything is work. I think I may have one day that I actually take to myself, which is Sunday, and even then, I'm still catering to the kids, trying to make sure that everything is intact, cleaning up the house, going to church, running a few errands. But when do we ever give ourselves grace? And I know that if we are strong-minded and we're hoarding our feelings, we tend to hide our feelings by overworking. I know I do that. So we gotta reclaim our energy, y'all. We cannot keep on just, it's 2025. We gotta find some type of balance. We have to take control of our time. We have to set dates. I mean, I'm getting to the point to where I be booked, but I have to actually plan out my week, month, honestly. Because if I don't plan it out, I'm just going to be all over the place. And then next thing you know, I'm forgetting things. I have clients booked on top of each other. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I was supposed to meet with you today. But I'm overworked, because I'm constantly trying to chase a goal versus actually enjoying the fruits of my labor. Because once the blessings come in, we're supposed to sit down and soak that in. But we tend to, okay, I accomplished that. What's next? And that's not a good mindset to have. That's actually a toxic mindset to have, because enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, you worked really hard to get that house, to get that car, to get that promotion, to accomplish that goal that you had set. Why are you in a rush to accomplish the next goal? And I think it's just basically hiding how you really feel because you're not expressing it. Then you become burnt out. And I know sometimes burnt out causes you to be negative. It has you in a negative headspace. And it also has you being nasty to individuals because you're really tired. You're not giving yourself no grace. You just constantly keep going. And when somebody comes along, you just got a negative Nancy mindset because you really need sleep. It's okay to get your full 8 hours of sleep. And plus, it's 2025. We want to continue looking good. We don't want to look like what we've been through. We want people to constantly, when we show up, people like, oh, I wouldn't have never thought you was going through that. Okay, well, truth be told, although I was going through that, I did not worry because what do they say? Faith, what's the use of you going to pray if you're going to worry? And what's the use of you worrying if you're going to pray? And that all ties into being burnt out because sometimes we overwork ourselves, not trusting and walking out on faith that things will work in our favor. We're constantly looking for a plan B in place to take care of things that we need to take care of. I could share a few times where I kind of burnt myself out because I was constantly going. When I ended up in 2022, I had to end up filing bankruptcy. I had started a new business. I had invested almost $100,000 into this business, and I just knew that it was going to take off and we was going to make money. Indeed, I did make money. However, I did not have my structure in place. I was overpaying my employees. My trucks were breaking down. That was expense by itself, and it led me to file bankruptcy. But in that season of me starting that business, I was already burnt out. I was doing taxes, real estate. I was doing taxes, real estate. I was working at the funeral home. I had Airbnbs. I had a long-term rental property. I mean, I was just kind of going, not taking time to think. And my brain was going at 1,000,000 thoughts per second, literally, because I'm constantly like, I gotta make this money, I gotta take care of my family, I gotta make sure my kids are okay. And it caused me to make poor decisions when it came to that business, which led to me filing bankruptcy. And I got so stressed out with the bankruptcy because I'm just like, well, how did I get here? And I can remember a time of me praying, and it was kind of like, you got to slow down. You're moving too fast. You're looking for instant results. And now you're idolizing money. Because I was thinking, what I had going on, yes, I was making money. That wasn't the problem. But if I start this new business and I get these trucks on the road, I'm going to make more money and more money. But I was moving before God. So then, not only was I moving before God, I was burnt out. I didn't give myself time to just enjoy what he had already blessed me with. I felt like, oh, you blessed me with this business, so I'm making money with my Airbnbs. Now let me go start a trucking business, because if I go start a trucking business, boom, I'm going to have a lot of money. And I had set a goal. And have y'all ever heard the saying, tell God your plan and he laugh at it? Because he already know the plan for you. And when I tell you, I have hit a brick wall so many times because I have planned out my life. I wanted to be married by 30. I wanted to be retired by this age. I wanted to buy a home by this age. And he gave it to me, but he didn't give it to me at the time that I wanted it. He gave it to me when I was ready for it. And now I am 35 and I'm actually sitting in my blessings. Like, I'm not in a rush to be overworked and burnt out. Like, when I tell you life has taught me so many lessons from being burnt out, I'll take my time now. And I'm quick to say, no, I'm going to take a few days off and rest. You know, I used to say the saying, oh, I sleep when I pass away. Well, hey, that's all fine and dandy if you think that way. But life has a funny way of turning this around, and you're going to be like, dang, this time has passed me by. And I haven't really done what I really want to do in life besides chase money. I'm constantly at work. And our brains is programmed. And I think I had that mindset with my business because I came from a corporate job where all we did was work long hours. Literally every day I was working 8 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, 1 day off. So it wasn't that I wasn't a good worker. That's just what was trained into my mind to constantly go to work, go to work, go to work. But I have 2 small children, and I didn't realize then at that time I'm chasing money. My kids need me. You know, I'm raising boys, and you're always at work. You only come home at nighttime. When I tell you now, I value to be home when my kids are at home at school. Anybody that know me and that work with me, they will tell you, oh, she leaves by this time because I'm gonna be home for when my kids come home from school. And I had to realize I didn't experience that. If we take it all the way back, I didn't experience that as a child. My parents was always at work. So I didn't get to see them when I came home from school. You know, I would have to see them late at night. And by the time my mom and dad came home, they were tired, you know, until my dad became a stay-at-home dad. Then, yeah, I did get to see him when I came home from school. But my mom, I never really got to spend time with her or see her when I came home from school because she was always at work and working overtime. So experiencing that as a child, never being able to spend time with my mom gave me a type of trauma that I didn't want my kids to experience. So I had to really buckle down and realize, like, hey, it's now time for us to reclaim my energy. And we're going to talk about how I reclaim my energy. And number one was I had to really just be honest with myself. I had to identify that something wasn't working and something was wrong. I didn't make excuses for it. I was tired of hiding behind a mask of it looked like I was successful, but my body was tired. My mind was tired because I was clearly making mistakes that led me to filing bankruptcy, because if I would have slowed down, I wouldn't have even had to file bankruptcy. I just was moving so fast at a fast pace. And here's another thing I want to share. When you are moving fast, takers can identify that you are moving fast, and they will take from you. Because the thing is, if she doesn't realize or he doesn't realize that he's moving fast and he's making mistakes, well, guess what? They're not going to realize that I took this. And when things are flourishing and you don't have systems in place, you don't have people around that you can trust, again, takers will take advantage. And then you sitting there like, well, dang, I didn't know. Think about stories of how people say, I didn't know millions of dollars was missing from my bank account. And the reason being is because they were at the height of their career. They was constantly going. And they didn't take time to think that this person would take. But that person knew that, oh, they moving fast. And we have to keep in mind that the enemy is tricky. So he's going to use all different type of tactics to trick you out of your spot. So when it all boils down, it's meant for you not to recover. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to realize that I had a bunch of takers in my business. And if I would have slowed down, it wouldn't have led me to make the mistake of filing bankruptcy. But it's neither here nor there. We done that. But in the process of me realizing and being honest with myself, I also did an energy check. I had to realize, hey, take an hour out the day. Shut down business hours. Ask yourself what is draining you. Identify who is for me, who is not for me, what is working for me, what is not working for me. I get that we want to have, I'm a natural nurturer, okay? That is me. If somebody come around, I'm going to ask you, are you hungry? Do you need something? Is everything okay? But I also had to realize what was attacking me. Because what was attacking me was also tearing me down. So I had to realize, like, no, I have to protect my energy. And that goes back to us saying no. It's okay to say no. Whether it's your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy, your granny, whoever, no. If it doesn't work for you, it does not work for you. Don't get so caught up in, and I'm going to share this too. I noticed that when we kind of get at the hype of our career, individuals like to make us feel like we're too good. They're quick to say, oh, you think you're better, or you think you this. And I had to realize too, I have worked so hard to come from a place that I didn't want to be in, right? So you're not going to stay the same. Am I changing the subject? Okay, I'm sorry. You're not going to, when you're growing and you're constantly asking God to heal you, help you, show you how good it can get, put me in places that's going to help me grow my business, put me in connection with people, you're not going to stay the same. Leaves are going to fall, like fall. When it comes fall, the spring leaves fall for the fall. And the fall leaves fall for the spring. They don't stay the same. The root may be planted, but the leaves fall off and new leaves grow. And that's what's supposed to happen. Everybody is not meant to experience a season with you. Either they are a lesson or a blessing, and I stand firm on that. And you have to identify and use your discernment to understand who is going to be in this season for the long haul and who is going to be in this season for the short haul. I can tell you when I first became successful, those people that was with me are no longer with me now. Before we even got to this point of creating this safe space for you guys, he isolated me for a whole year. And he handpicked each individual who can stay in my life. It was no longer, okay, I got this friend, this family, that family. He literally put me in a season where it was just me and him. And I didn't care how nobody felt. I didn't let people tell me, I didn't let nobody mess with my energy. I protected. Despite of what I was going through, I protected my energy like it was a baby. If I felt you was going to speak something to my spirit, I said, we're not doing this today. I'm going to call you back. My favorite line is, when I feel that the conversation is going to go a way that I don't want it to go, or that I know it's going to, put some type of fear in me, because we are in a season where other people's energy likes to place fear into your spirit. And that's not what I want. I said, okay, well, hey, let me catch this call real quick. I'm probably not gonna call back, but still, y'all get the point. Okay, I had to just protect my energy. I had to realize what was fueling me to move at a super fast pace to where I was making mistakes, and I felt like I should be overworked. Because again, we're honoring being overworked as a badge of honor when it's not. And then when we're gonna get older, we're gonna say, oh, all I did was spend all my time at the job. All I did was spend all my time working. Okay, well, hey, we pay our bills. We know every month that these bills are due. We know every month that we have to take care of our responsibility. It's okay to say, I'm gonna enjoy my off day and I'm not gonna do nothing. Because your body will tell you when it's time for you to shut down. And then we sit up here and say, well, I don't know how I got sick. Well, you ain't give yourself no rest. I just was fighting a sinus infection for 2 weeks. And what literally got the sinus infection to go away, I had to rest for 2 days. I turned my phone off. I told my close people, I said, hey, I'm going to take the next 2 days and I'm just going to rest. I'm going to make sure the boys get to school. I'm going to make sure, they come home. But I'm going to take today, I'm shutting my brain off. I don't want to think about nothing but resting. I'm going to pray, read my Bible, meditate, but I'm going to rest. I'm not going to think about doing no work. I'm not going to think about helping nobody. I'm just going to strictly focus on reclaiming my energy. So it's okay to say no, to take that time to reclaim your energy. Once we prioritize real rest, you then can move with intention, okay? And not all over the place. So to prevent burnouts, we know that I had to be honest with myself, identify the problem. I had to do an energy audit, okay? Understand what was draining me, what was fueling the problem. I then started saying no, okay? And then I started prioritizing real rest, putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I am the queen of Do Not Disturb. But hold on, that's not it. We still have to find joy. And I think that we get so wrapped up into our everyday life and the negative that we forget our happiness. What makes you happy? Think about the last time you done something that really made you happy. Think about the last time you done something that made you smile and you were just at peace with whatever was going on around you. It didn't matter if the fire alarm was going off. It didn't matter if I'm going to be real. You know how they say when you in love, you don't care about nothing that's going on because you just so in love. That's the happiness that we need to have in ourselves every day. Not just for others, but for ourselves. Even if it's you sneaking ice cream and you're supposed to have it, that's your happiness. But I had to find joy again and make time for the little things. Believe it or not, y'all, I am a gardener. I love roses. I love plants, okay? When I slow my brain down, and I love fishing. I always love to fish, okay? I don't ask me. It is something that just brings me peace. I love water. I just love anything with nature. But when I slowed my brain down, I realized these are things that I like to do. I like to take care of my plants. I like to go fishing. I love food, of course. I like to cook, spend time with my children and cook. The little things. Sometimes we don't have to spend money to make us happy. It could just be simply you taking a hot shower or taking a bubble bath and turning it into putting some candles on, music playing, and you just relaxing your mind. If that's what makes you happy. I know for me, I love violin music. I love just listening to violin music or a guitar play a solo beat. Okay, that puts me at so much ease. I got so disciplined with reclaiming my energy. I make it home by 3:30 every day, and by 5-6 o'clock, I am watching the sunset. It's almost like a movie. I do it almost every day, and you can tell when I don't go look at my sunset. I be all over the place. I love looking at a beautiful sunset because it puts me at peace. No matter what type of day I had, it still lets me know it's joy on the other side. We don't always have to just focus on the negative. Okay? And then once I found the joy, I'm going to be real. I asked for help. Okay? When we are strong-minded and we are so used to doing everything ourselves, we don't like to ask for help. And I had to realize that is not a healthy thing. Pride stopped me from asking for help because I felt like I was an individual that had it all. I was smart. I had it all together. Why do I need to ask somebody for help? I'm going to be real. God put me in a season where he made me ask for help. It was no longer operating in, oh, I got it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself. I had to delegate tasks, and I had to ask individuals for help. I'm not ashamed to say I went and sought therapy. I'm not ashamed to say that I asked my close friends for help when I couldn't do it myself. So I say all these things to say is that being overworked is not the real flex. The overflow will come once we release it from out of our hands and let him do what he's going to do. Because if we want to be real, the plan is already written in stone. So you just kind of stressing your own self out. Think about it. When you try to fix things yourself, where do we really go? You know? I can honestly say that when I was trying to fix it myself, I didn't get nowhere. But the moment I left it in God's hand, he turned it all around when he was ready to turn it all around. Okay? And I realized that I don't have to overwork. Because again, he will put you in a season, and I constantly kept saying, give me a plan and a strategy. He gave me a plan and a strategy. So I went from being overworked to overflow. But despite of what I was going through, I lacked nothing. Even when I wasn't overworked. This is why I spoke on getting help at the end, because it is the most important part of reclaiming your energy. And so my help to you is, y'all know we have challenges every week. This challenge has a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 is you're going to say no to anything that is going to drain your energy this week. Okay? Stand on business. No. I'm not doing it. No, that does not work for me. No, I'm protecting my energy. Part 2 is you're going to say yes to one thing that's going to fill your cup. Because keep in mind, we cannot pour from an empty cup. You can constantly try, but that's why you're going to continue to be overworked and burnt out. All right? And remember, being burnt out does not mean you're broken. It just simply means you are still operating in survival mode. And you have done that for so long without a break, and you deserve to take rest. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say I'm going to take a rest day. It's okay to say it doesn't work for me. All of those things, you have made it to overflow. Even if you feel like you are not in your overflow season, act like it. Okay? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. Not just to survive. You deserve to be in your overflow season. Okay? If this episode spoke to you, y'all already know what to do. Share it with a friend or a family member. If you have sat here and watched this long, you should have already liked and subscribed, okay? Because we family, all right? And as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you guys on next episode of Where is My Partner? Because I know y'all waiting on that.